How you doing, man? I want you to introduce yourself for one. What's your name? Who you are?
My name is Buster Brown. Anthony Buster Brown.
You said Anthony Buster Brown?
Yes.
No, you ain't never told me about the Buster, man.
Yeah, I don't like using that word too much.
What?
Yeah, that's like, you used to tease me when I was little. Buster Brown, live in the shoe type thing.
It was like a what?
Like the Buster Brown shoes.
Oh, okay. Bobos or something.
Yeah.
Well, we all been through that.
Yeah.
So why we here?
Well.
And this is, and like I said, now this is basically what we doing now is bringing a conversation that we've been talking about for maybe a couple of years, right? You've been around a couple of years now, I guess, right?
Years, at least.
Behind the scenes that we can talk about now, like I said, for a more positive light, you know what I mean? Because you will progress, right, and work. So say what you want to say.
This is a real dark period for me right now, at this moment. And it can't get emotional, so yeah. I've been talking to Amontes'TV back and forth about being on heroin. Heroin is a powerful drug, which I probably don't have to say that.
But people, I'm glad you said, because people don't really know. How you was trying to explain to me, somebody that haven't actually done it. I've been around it my whole life, but I haven't done it. So it's a different effect when you've done it, and I understand that even if I'm being arrogant in our conversation, I know this, but I'm just trying to, get you to, push yourself in that situation. And it's, I always say you go through that fire. So how did it start?
It started.
What year? You remember what year?
Yeah, it started in 1981. Just to give you a reference, I'm 65 years old right now. It started when I was 21 years old.
1981.
I call myself a street guy. I ran the streets anyway to make that story irrelevant. I started selling drugs at 21 for somebody.
Now, what kind of drugs? You talking about heroin or
Okay, so I first started selling cocaine at 20. And I started selling crack at 21. Then I started selling heroin for this big time gangster that lives in the neighborhood. Anyway, he sold heroin. And we used to have shifts like they do. We stayed in an abandoned building where we sold it from. We was in an abandoned building. No one lived there. But we had an apartment in that abandoned building. And we used to go in there. We put the lights on from the street stand like that. And we would go in there and have shifts. And my shift was probably from 12 to 8. So I'm in there by myself, a whole abandoned building, this in the room, this in an apartment by myself. People come to the door, tell me what they want, pass through the hole, they give me money. Back then.
Oh, it passed through the hole. So you said it's the 80s?
Yeah.
Early 80s, okay.
Yeah. They pass through the hole, tell me what they want, pass them this stuff. One day, I had finished my shift, and I'm outside the spot, and we talking guys that had shifts also, and they brought up this drug. I didn't know what it was. They brought up this drug. I said, "Yo, man, try this." I said, "Man, what's that, cocaine?" They said, "No, man, try this, man. This is scramble."
This is scramble?
Scramble. See, back then, it wasn't called heroin.
Never knew that.
It was called scramble. And what they would do is they would take the heroin and mix it with some quinine.
Quinine. Back then?
Yeah, back then you take the heroin, mix it with some quinine, and they call that scramble. This is before what I'm about to tell you now. So I did some of that and I started throwing it.
Which one you sniffed it?
I sniffed it.
Okay.
I sniffed a little bit, and I might have did a little bit too much because I'm thinking that's cocaine. So I might have did a little bit too much, so I started throwing up in 5 minutes. So I'm throwing up. But at the same time, after I threw up, it felt good. The feelings felt good. After I threw up, it felt good.
That's what everybody. Oh, that's what I used to hear. You knew how good it was back when you throw up. Yeah. Right.
The first time I threw up, man. Yeah, so take it a little further. Maybe about a month later, 2 months later, they came out with another type of heroin called P-Funk.
P-Funk.
And the reason why they called it P-Funk was the P is for pure.
Okay.
And the funk is the product. So P-Funk, pure heroin. Right? Now, it really wasn't pure, but it was 10 times, it really wasn't pure, but it was 10 times better than quinine. I mean, better than scramble. It was 10
times better than scramble.
10 times better than scramble.
So scramble was like maybe like a cut up.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Scramble was what they took the heroin and mixed it with a whole lot of quinine or whatever. But the P-Funk was supposed to be just pure dope, pure heroin. Well, of course it wasn't pure heroin because everybody be dead, whatever, you know. But,
yeah, true that.
But anyway, I did some of that and I really liked it. And for some reason, I really liked it. And I started sniffing till it got to the point where I would sniff every other day. I would sniff probably starting once a week.
So basically, wherever this feeling is, it's got to be about that feeling when you take it, right?
It is. It's about the feeling that made me calm. I was always active, and I was always hyper and active, and there was some things going on in my personal life. I had six other siblings and 2 sisters, and I didn't favor none of my siblings, so they didn't really like fuck with me.
You saying you didn't favor them for everything?
As far as
look like them?
Nowhere. Physically,
for real,
mentally, none of that. I didn't favor them at all. And so to compensate for that, because you imagine being in a house with 8 siblings and none of them really getting you. You know what I'm saying? No real, not attention, but no real type of networking. You know what I'm saying? So I would go to the streets. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I started doing. I started getting my associations from the streets. And so that's what I did. I went out in the streets and I did what I had to do, and I became familiar with the people in the streets, and that's why I got it. And that's how I got into a lot of things about the streets. And I was like maybe 13 then. And just so carry on from then, so I believe that me liking the way the heroin made me feel was because I didn't have to. First of all, it made me feel like I was cool. It made me feel like I was okay emotionally. Because can you imagine being in a house and people not talking to you like that? How emotional I can get, but you can't show that. Especially as a man, like that.
Yeah, back in those times, yeah.
You can't do that, you know what I'm saying? So you have to act like, like you're all right with it. So, so there was a lot of personal things going on in my life, man, that led me to that. And once I did that, it took away that insecurity. It took away that.
I mean, is it true what they say far as for sex for women?
Yeah. So in the beginning, when you're first using the heroin, it used to be this thing called dope dick.
Yeah.
And this is real shit. This ain't no bullshit.
Yeah, no.
And don't you go out there fucking using this motherfucking shit because you want to fuck a girl for 2 hours. All right? Yeah. Don't do that. Because you fucked around and not just fuck her, you be fucking yourself. But anyway, yes, it was this thing called dope dick that when you sniff it, you know what I'm saying, your dick would just stay hard for hours. Just hours. It's just crazy, man. Some motherfuckers do it just for that. People want to do it just for that. Guys wanted to do it just to experience that.
That's probably, and because in especially in the black community, as you get, that's a thing. Being able to make sure you making your woman feel like she need to feel. So, and that's crazy. So, cause I always wondered about that. For some, was that what excited them too? Like, let me try this, man, and see this what they say it
I'm
is.
sure.
You know
I'm
what I mean?
sure. Absolutely.
Did
Absolutely.
the female surround him say, "Look, girl, boy, go ahead and get that"? I'm saying, man.
And you know what? You know, it's crazy that the woman even said, "I need the dope dick."
Is she used to it, right?
But
She
was
messing
doing
somebody
it.
doing it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody do it to you, right, you're right. And she was familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? The concept of it. So yeah, you know, there was women.
So early in that play that worked out good for you.
I'm saying,
Early in getting involved with that. Did that help you on that
sexually?
side? Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It didn't.
Not helped you, but I'm saying, but
Right. Because I didn't really need to help me. I was a fucking teenager. You know what I'm saying? I was in my 20s. So I didn't really need it, but it enhanced it. You know what I'm saying? It enhanced it, and then I'm hot too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, damn. You know?
see, I like older females used to talk to me. She said, "Well, baby, shoot." She said, "One thing about it, if he fall asleep, I can still ride it." You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You didn't even have to be
Absolutely.
active.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Man, I remember, man. I'm just to say this one thing about that. I was at this girl's house and I went to sleep. And just because you said that, I woke up and she had my dick out my mouth. Only because the shit wouldn't go down. You know what I'm saying? While I was asleep, the shit wouldn't go down, man. And she woke up with my dick out my mouth. And I'm just saying that just because you said that part. Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, this is all I want for the day, you know what I mean? Because I'm glad to see you open up that much, because this is already good. You know what I mean? I done learned more about you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's some things you remember about yourself. You know what I mean? Until next time, peace.